Hey, welcome to Knowledge Nerds with Kayla. How you doing,
Hello,
Kayla?
I've been good.
Yeah, how was your week?
My week's been going pretty good so far.
Well, your weekend actually,
Yeah, my
because the
weekend.
week started.
Mhm.
So we didn't really do much this weekend though. We just
We just
kind
hung
of
out
just
at
lunged
home,
out,
and
lounged
then
out. It was one of those kind of uneventful weekends. So
yeah,
which is
all we really did yesterday was just get some pizza.
yeah, get some pizza. It's
Yeah.
but I know you want to get on a little bit of a rant. Something happened to you over the weekend. You can go ahead. Go.
Yep. So, I got my TikTok account hacked. I had 20,000 followers. 20, actually up to 20.4 thousand now. It was at 23 when it happened. And now this hacker guy wants me to pay him $2,000 to get it back, which
Your account was hijacked, basically.
yeah. And
Um,
apparently they sold it. They sold it to this guy.
yeah.
I don't know if it's legit. I don't even know what's gonna happen. So, like, me and my followers and my own parents are upset about this. All I want is it back. And TikTok isn't really doing much to help me. I'm sending them email after email. Same response, still trying to make me give them my information, even though I literally just gave it to them.
Yeah.
Makes no sense. But if any of you out there can like do something about it, or you know anybody that works for TikTok, here in the States probably, because it is originally a Chinese company, um, ByteDance, please let me know or let them know so they can try and help me. I would really appreciate it. All I want is my account back, and I want all my followers to know that I'm okay and that I'm doing well. My TikTok account is Frilly Dress. The one I'm using right now is called Frilly Dress Backup. It's all lowercase, so it's so easy to search.
Yeah. So I mean, listen, she made a mistake and clicked on something she shouldn't have, which
Mm-hmm.
is a lesson to be learned. Never
Yep.
trust anything that anybody sends you. Uh, Hackers have a way of being very creative and trying to get you to do things, that could crash your account or try to get them to give you money and things like that. So, hopefully, we can get it back, but don't get your hopes up. Sometimes, maybe a miracle might happen, but the important thing is that you're not harmed.
Yeah.
It's
All that guy's really doing, I thought he was deleting my videos, but
yeah.
he said that he's
She's
private.
very creative with her videos. She does videos on her
I
TikTok
do a
and
bunch of edits,
yeah, edits
and
and
I
things
just
like
like
that.
sometimes I just talk about random or exciting things that happen
Yeah,
to
yeah.
me.
So,
Right.
so a lesson to be learned. So anyway, we gave each other a homework assignment.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
Yeah. So my
Okay,
dad
there you go.
So my dad assigned me Shout at the Devil by Motley Crue.
Okay.
Now, I gave this a nice little listen to, and I gotta say, truthfully, I really like it. Honestly, there wasn't a single bad track on there. My favorite
It's my
tracks,
favorite. It's my favorite Motley Crue album.
my favorite tracks have to be Looks at Kill, Helter Skelter, and where is it? Danger. Those
Uh,
are my favorites. I had like a nice like guitar part of it. The lyrics are pretty good, and I like the fact that they Motley Crue did a cover of Helter Skelter by the Beatles.
yeah.
I just had a really good time listening to it, and I will definitely give Motley Crue more listens.
Cool. Yeah, it's the album that I got introduced to them by actually Uncle Paul. He had the cassette of it, and I used to listen to the cassette all the time. And I probably ended up stealing the cassette from him, and I listened to it more than him. But it was really the first Motley Crue album that I had. I was I think this came out in '83, yeah, 1983. So, I mean, God, I was only like you know 11, 12 years old and I used to see the videos on MTV and stuff like that. So yeah, from top to bottom, it's no filler on this at all. I think it's their best album, my favorite by them, and yeah, it's a classic, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
It got a lot of people into hard rock and heavy metal. So and then
It's
now,
definitely great.
yeah. So now the homework assignment you gave me was an album by an artist named Aurelio Voltaire,
Or also known as the Layer of Voltaire.
the Layer of Voltaire.
Yeah.
The album is Black Labyrinth, which came out in 2022. It's a behemoth of an album. It's 20 tracks, so it'd be a double album released in um, like if it was released on physical. I think I read up that you can buy the CD only at his concerts. So you can only get it digitally online. You can't order the CD. I think he had it available at his concert. So anyway, I had to listen to it online digitally. And Aurelio Voltaire is a Cuban American. He's described as kind of dark cabaret. Um, he blends. I gotta say, like he blends a lot of different styles. If you're a fan of like David Bowie or Morrissey or any sort of kind of goth, like I read that his influences are Morrissey and The Cure, some Depeche Mode, even some Duran Duran. Kind of like his style is kind of a mishmash, all that plus a lot of European folk, goth. So yeah, like it kind of reminded me of like 80s Bowie, like his kind of pop period. Um, so and even like 80s like Queen, like even Queen like kind of remind me a bit of that with like the kind of the when Freddie Mercury got a bit more cabaret and things like that. So I mean, it's not hard rock or anything like that, but he mixes a lot of different instruments such as flute, cello, violins, things like that. Very multi instrumental. If some songs are very Renaissance sounding, like you can hear them at maybe a Renaissance fair, something like that. It makes you. It's like a macabre style, like some parts are dancey, like very danceable. Um, he does
somber.
some of it's somber, yeah, some dark kind of darker, a little bit darker ballads. Lyrically, there's like a lot of peaks and valleys, like it's almost like he goes through a lot of emotions on this album.
Exactly.
And it makes you sort of feel like you're in a labyrinth actually, and your emotions are like the maze that you're trying to escape.
Also, I remember I used to have Spotify, and apparently in his little artist bio, apparently he worked with some of David Bowie's people on that album, which is amazing.
Yeah, I read up a little bit on that too. So it's like almost if Labyrinth, like if Labyrinth has a sequel, this would be like the perfect kind of soundtrack for it, and it would make like a great, I think a Broadway play too. Actually,
yeah,
kind of sounds like it would make. And I'm not a big Broadway guy, but I enjoyed it. It's not something I normally listen to, but it's kind of cool to kind of step out of my comfort zone because I'm more of a hard rock guy and even like kind of a little bit of hip hop, whatever. But yeah, I enjoyed it. He's got a great voice. And I read up a little bit on him. He had kind of a rough childhood coming up. I think his father died when he was very young, maybe only like maybe 3 or 4 years old, and I think he was in a bit of he was abused as a child and stuff like that. But we won't get into that. We won't get too somber with that. But very creative.
He's a great artist.
He's a great artist.
Underrated.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. It's not something it's something like 20 tracks. You need to really digest it. So I'd have to really kind of give it a couple more listens to kind of get the story. But definitely like he was very inspired by Labyrinth and David Bowie and that movie. So kind of was almost seems very kind of would make a great soundtrack for like a sequel. So
yeah.
Anyway, so that's that. I picked this up. I found this at a place that my wife and I like to go to called Hot Bins. It's basically like a store that it's like Amazon returns. So they have a bunch of bins that have boxes, and you kind of you don't know what's in the box, so you can. They have barcodes on it, so if you do have the Amazon app, you can scan it, and a lot of times it'll tell you what it is. So, but I saw this like in a little plastic bag. It's actually Getty Lee, a little mini replica um, bass, Rickenbacker bass that he used famously in the '70s and early '80s. Um, Now the bridge for it, that holds the strings, is broken, so I'm gonna have to give it a little repair. But for $10, it was definitely worth. It came with a little stand and everything, which is really cool. I was flabbergasted when I saw it in the bin. I'm like, it was almost kind of like I went there and I'm just meant to find it. You know, you guys know how big of a Rush fan I am. I'd like to thank my buddy John too. I got a little care package in the mail. I grew up with John. He's one of my best friends, and he sent me a little care package. So he went to couple shirts here. Um, he went to Bubba Bash, which is a tribute to Neil Peart up in Pennsylvania. The band Why Not hosts it, and on the back you got who was there this year. So Why Not? Johnny Dinklage, Jason Bittner, Ed Toth. The list goes on and on. So yeah, it's 2025 Bubba Bash tribute to Neil, and he also went to the Radio City Music Hall show where Dream Theater was playing. He got me this cool Dream Theater like jersey.
Cool. I like that.
The 40th anniversary. It's got the
That's
40 on the
awesome.
back. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. Dream Theater. Dream Theater is like a progressive band that came up in the early '90s, and they became very, very popular with people that are very into progressive music, very musicians, and maybe one day when you get a little more digesting with the music. Well, you did give me this, so this is thing. So I can give you that probably, and you might enjoy it, you might not. I don't know. It's very technical. Let's just say that. Yeah. So, but you might enjoy it. Who knows? I'll give you a homework assignment one day on that one.
Yeah.
So that's that. Thank you very much, John. I appreciate it, man. That's awesome. You didn't have to do that, but very, very cool of you to do. You said what? Did you watch any movies at all over?
Not really, but
What was the show that came into your room the other weekday and you were watching?
Justice League.
No.
Oh, was that?
What was the show that you were watching? It was a movie or something. Oh no, you were watching the documentary on the Woodstock, weren't you?
Yeah.
Woodstock '99.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah. That was pretty chaotic. Mm-hmm. I almost went to that too. I almost went to the one in 1994 though.
Whoa.
But I didn't go. My friend a friend of mine had an extra ticket, and I didn't go. I kind of wish I did though. Not the '99 one, the '94 one.
If I was born in like the '80s and like I was older in 1999, I'd probably be so freaked out. I'd be like, I don't want to stay that long, man.
It's 3 days, you know.
It's like a lot of the stuff that happened there kind of made me uncomfortable and honestly kind of sad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it became pretty chaotic at the end. I had a couple of friends that went to it, and Fireman Chris, you know, my friend Chris,
yeah,
he went to it, and at the end when the Red Hot Chili Peppers was playing, he could see the trouble happening, and he told his friend, "I think we better get out of here," and he got out okay and stuff like that before it got really crazy. But yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and I heard it was because they were giving out candles to honor the victims of the Columbine shooting, which is
yeah, and then they started the fires with that.
Yeah, that's kind of sad if you think about it.
Yeah,
it was supposed to be a memorial, and then all these kind of young like adults or kids kind of decided to make it into trouble.
Yeah.
I don't know much about the Columbine shooting, but I know that it was very depressing and yeah, but I don't want to get into it.
Nah, we want to make this a happy show, not sad.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, homework assignment for next week. What do you got? Anything for me?
I got a recommendation because I know you introduced me to them. I want you to listen to the self-titled Baby Metal album.
Oh.
Their first album from 2014.
I don't really know actually much about Baby Metal. I mean, I told you about them, but I never really listened to them. So I welcome that. They're actually going to be doing a concert down here in Florida.
And I hope you got the tickets for it.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. we might go to it. I'd like to take her to it. So
I'd
because
love to see Baby Metal.
yeah,
They're awesome.
yeah, I know Rob Halford. He was a singer of Judas. He's a singer of Judas Priest. I know he guested, I think, on a song of theirs. But yeah, so this is it the debut album, the first
I'm
album,
pretty
or
sure it is the debut
were you saying
album.
it's a self-titled?
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of times that might be the first album. Sometimes it's not actually, but I'll definitely check it out. And I didn't pull out the homework assignment for you, but I will have you listen to this one.
Ooh, I wonder what it is.
I want you to listen to this one. AC/DC's Back in Black.
Ooh, AC/DC.
Yeah. So recently, I just got tickets to see them down here, and I want to take Kayla to that because, there you go. That's going to be your homework assignment. Listen to that whole album. You're probably going to recognize some songs because this is one of the biggest selling albums by a rock band of all time. It's sold like probably 30 million albums, I think, over that, like in time. So it's like one of the biggest selling. Yeah, Back in Black. I think a lot of the rock fans know that. That's like one of those albums that's in pretty much everybody's collection. Yeah, check that out. I'll check out Baby Metal, and that's cool. And why don't you do like a random pick as well? I'll talk about a random pick.
Sure.
She's ready for bed since she has her pajamas on. Anything, pick something random. Oh. This is Billy Morrison. This is the Morrison Project. Now, he has a song on here with Ozzy called Ozzy Osbourne.
Ooh, yeah,
it's called Crack Cocaine. Yeah, so that's been getting radio play and stuff. So, and he looks. I got to be completely honest. I haven't listened to this whole thing yet, but he's some of the guest stars he has on here. He's a guitar player himself, but some of the guest stars on here, he has Alec Jorgensen of Ministry, John Five, John Five is a guitar player that's now in Motley Crue because there's a whole big drama. They kicked Mick Mars out, the original guitar player, but they had a falling out with him. But anyway, it's got Corey Glover and Steve Vai on here. DMC from Run DMC is on here. Billy Idol, Steve Stevens, Linda Perry. So yeah, but the single that you've been hearing is Crack Cocaine, and this came out I think last year or 2 years ago already. Whoa. But yeah, Billy Morrison. You know what? I should really throw this on and listen to the rest of it because I haven't really dove into this one. But yeah, that's cool. So that's a good random pick there. And just a little bit more on AC/DC for you. So this is the first album. This is not their first album, but it's the first album it came out in 1980. But I want you to read up on it if you can. It's the first album with Brian Johnson, this new singer, because their original singer, Bon Scott, passed away. And then they didn't know if they were going to continue on or not, but they had been writing new music. So they ended up getting a new guy. And then this ended up being like the album that just kind of broke them wide open and made them so huge, like worldwide and in America and everything. Just crazy. So hopefully when we go see them, you'll see the spectacle that's AC/DC. Angus Young is the guitar player that dresses up in a schoolboy uniform and runs around the stage. I'll send you some videos of them. Awesome. But yeah, definitely check out this album. This is a great album. I mean, if you're going to check out AC/DC, that's a lot of people's first. So I don't want to, throw you in the deep end. But Bon Scott's my favorite singer, though, of them. But anyway, so that's going to be it for today. So thanks for joining us. Yeah, we appreciate it. Yeah, so we were going to do the show yesterday, but we had pizza. We were lounging around. We were just kind of lazy, so we just kind of saved it for today. But join us next weekend. Back with another episode. We'll do our homework assignments and we'll talk about what happened during the week. So everybody have a great night. Bye, and cheers. Take care.